inside of this box is a Hoover Senior of some flavour. We shall confirm that shortly. However, this Hoover Senior is already in bits. What we have here from another collector is sort of a broken machine that has some new parts and it's all in bits, and we have to figure out what's in here. So, let's have a look. Yes, good evening, my vacuum cleaner and mystery box chums. How are you today? Yes, what we have here is a 1980s, I'm pretty sure, electricity board exclusive Hoover Senior. And already this bag is beautiful, spotless. These nothing to it at all. It even smells nice, so that's good. We have been provided with a paper bag, and if you look at this paper bag, you will see a bag collar. Our machine is one of those. I mean, they're probably all the same machine, really, but we have many on there. So, looks like we'll fit a paper bag. We have a new belt. It's not a genuine belt, it is a pattern belt, but hey, that is what you have to do in 2025. Right, right, we're going to start putting bits out now. We have, from, as is customary from this person, a lovely piece of new flex. That is marvellous. A handle grip. Ooh. Oh, a genuine Hoover electricity board special plug with only a little bit of damage that could probably be ignored, or I might stick a little bit of Q-bond on there, but that is very nice indeed, so we'll pop that there. Right, what's in layer number 2? Wheels. Right, this is more in bits than I thought. So let me pop this over there and I can start laying things out over here, I think, because this is in bits. Look, there's even your Chinese takeaway tub, which has, by the looks of it, a bulb. Yeah, that's all the rear axle parts in there. So, oh gosh, does this bulb even work? I don't know. Ah, it is a genuine Hoover bulb though. Wow, we are special. Handle bail. Shame about that paint loss. Fill tube. Handles. Square handles as well. And base plate. And everything else is here. Inside of this Hoover Senior. So, what is inside of here? Because I know that this is very much not assembled. We have a hood, a very nice hood. Oh, I need to go through the packaging, unless it's somewhere else. We have a hood. We have a brand new bulb fitted behind this box. However, I know that this motor is not in here. So this is the original motor from the original vacuum cleaner. Look, plastic fan. So we are into the 80s here. Oh, dear. But, in fact, we'll take this out as well. There we go. What this is, ooh, that's exciting, is a brand new hood. It hasn't actually got a racing plate on it, so I don't actually know what the serial number is yet. We'll have to, we can make one up. I mean, you know, we know which ones we can choose from now. Which one of those should we call this? Comment down below. This is a brand new old stock hood. Look how white and beautiful that is. It's also got what looks like a brush roll in it, which I wasn't quite expecting. Oh yeah, look. This looks brand new as well. Yeah, that's a brand new old stock, probably pattern brush roll. Oh, and that won't sit in there because the end caps They're completely right. I'm not mistaken, am I? So I think we might have to swap the innards out with one from another Hoover Senior, because yeah, that shouldn't have that dimple. That should be end caps round and straight. So that's a little bit odd. I shall confirm that with the person, although again with yeah, I think that might be the wrong brush roll, because even if I then put the right end caps on, that's going to be too small. I might have one myself. We shall see. So okay, one little fail. The other little fail is I haven't found the lens, so I'm gonna go for the bubble wrap and check that that is there, because it's certainly not here. Oh my goodness, look at that gouge. I don't think I'm going to be able to do much with that. Oh, I've gone through all the packaging and all the box and I couldn't find it. Then I looked a little bit closely in the end of the fill tube. Here is our lens, which I think has a broken clip or just needs clipping in. I'm not going to do it now because I want to clean it first, but that will sit there, which will be lovely. So yes, I think we are complete. This is very white. I don't think this would have been that colour anyway. And the good thing is that once you put this on, you won't notice, because it will, you know, you'll see it from the back a little bit, but again, you won't, because you'll have this letting it down. And I don't think I'm going to be able to do much with that, and I think we're going to lose more paint off of it as we go. So that is a big old shame, but again, could be painted up. But otherwise, I think we're pretty much complete. Just need to take this motor and plonk it into there. But I don't want to plonk it in like this. We still have our suppressor. We are absolutely filthy. So I think the best thing that we can do with this is to take this brand new part and pop it to one side and then clean up the rest. Okay, let us start. I have the box ready for parts washing. So yeah, all of this is just going to go straight into there for a good scrub. The wheels, the hood, the handle. I'm not going to take the end cap off because they do break, and that's a very clean handle. But it can have a wash anyway. Right, we want this hood, which is already stripped. I think I might wash this. It is quite grubby from storage, and you know, it will wash and dry a lot nicer if I did do it. I'm not going to bother taking all of this apart, but yeah, I think that can be washed as well. It has been kicking around a long time. These things weren't made yesterday. We have the remains of the old top handle. If I undo this screw, it looks like, can I? In there is the remains of an old handle. It's not this one. This one is a replacement. This one won't go in there though. Oh, it's all bent out. Why are you all bent up? So, right, so this is going to be something fun to sort out, and that's not going to be sorted out today. So we'll leave that for now. I'm going to pop out this little circlip. He says. Okay, pop that out, and then we can take our handle. Oh, now we've got to find the circlip, which I shall do in a second. Then we can push the handle and its spring out. I think this has probably been bent a little bit, although I don't know. That could be how it's supposed to be. So yeah, we'll take that out. Oh dear. More broken plastic down here as well. I think this is the remains of the cable clamp. The story with this machine is, when the person who owns it got the remains of this stuff, one of these was completely broken off. The machine does such a smash that it had just sheared that entire lug off. So that's why it has a new one of those, and then this is pretty much what's left of everything else from that machine, and then we shall pop everything back into this house. So yeah, that's why it's all a little bit already stripped apart and higgledy-piggledy. We shall pop the circlip off of our wheel, and count 2 washers and a wheel, another washer, yes, and this bush which then holds it apart, so that the spring which we do have, so this spring can pull the rear wheels up and down with the height controller. So we'll do that. We'll take this side apart, if I can get the circlip off, and yeah, take its wheels off too, and then all of that can be washed. 4 washers, 1 spacer, 2 circlips can go into there. Then we got this. I don't like this. The paintwork's awful, and I'm not going to be able to get it any better than it is now because I'm rubbish at colour matching paint. So comment down below, I guess, somewhere underneath all of this corrosion is a circlip. I just need to find its ends, which are here, and get it off. There it goes. Where'd the circlip go? It's fine. I've got lots. There it is. It's easy to just shake the carpet up and collect them all. So here is the rear height adjustment. It's not a slidey bracket on this generation. It's a solid bracket. And then, oh gosh, this corroded thing should pull out, but it isn't. Oh dear. There we go. So that then rides up and down on here and gives you your height adjustment. So yeah, it is. People say about Hoover cheapening out. This is one of those situations. They are, they cheaped out a ton of stuff on this era compared to others, and it does show. Even the bushings are coming out of this handle. Why can't I pull this through? I think eventually this axle should come out. There's our last circlip. There it goes. Then I think once we fight the corrosion, we should be able to pull this rod out of here. It's this that's stuck onto here. There we go. I broke the corrosion, and yeah, we have our rod, our 2 bushings that go either end, and the circlips from the middle. And look at all this paint that's coming off of here. It is pretty awful. Right, under here will hopefully just be nothing, and we can take these screws out. Oh no, we do have an entire wiring block. Fair enough. So that is the wiring block for this era Hoover. So the wire from the motor comes up, connects into here. That can all be washed. That is a sorry sight. All right. Problem is, I don't know if I can even fit another one, because I think this is a specific shape versus any that I might have. Oh dear. But never mind. So that can go in there. That can go in there. We can take the bellows off of our fill tube. We can take our bellows off of our flange. Get all the disgustingness off. This will just be soaked in boiling water, and that will help all of the dirt come out of the rubber. We are getting there. The last thing to really do before we get to the motor is open up this very nice Hoover branded plug and see how well it was wired up from the factory. Probably from the electricity board actually. 3-core. I never knew that these were earthed, and that is, I think, a genuine cable, because it's a coffee colour, and to match the machine. That's very strange. I'm wanting to seek advice, because this shouldn't be earthed, and I'm not going to earth it, but it was earthed. How interesting. Right, let's move on to the motor. Right, I've gone and found myself a Hoover Senior 6525C screw card, which should contain all of the screws we need. We have a pot. We'd best take the motor apart. So we're going to take out this very nice bowl. This is apparently what makes this machine special. It's an electricity board exclusive with a light bulb. So very good indeed. And immediately I haven't got the crosshead screwdriver out that we need. But in theory, and I especially, I'm just going to start removing wires because the suppressor isn't going back in, and I can A, look back at this video, B, I've just taken lots of photographs, and C, I've got enough threads written on the Manchester Vax forum to help myself if I do forget, and the picture's behind there. But effectively we're going to strip out the wires, so we're going to pop out the 2 coil wires. Oh, this one's gone too far through. This one's got the crimp holding it in. How are we gonna get this one out? Ah, there we go. And we can remove our carbon brushes, which are genuine Hoover. I don't think it's going to focus, but you could just about see a Hoover roundel stamped into the carbon brush. So that's pretty cool indeed. Yeah, I'm going to have to get a crosshead screwdriver in order to release this screw here. There we go. Oh, good. And it's not spinning the little bush. It can do that. This bit gets quite rusty. Some of the metal in these aren't made to be damp, so that can come off. And that is the... Oh, I don't really have that screw because it's only a cord clip. So that's fine. Now, that releases this, which is the wire that runs off to the handle. We have push terminals on most Hoover Seniors with a headlight that I show you. They're old enough that they've got screw terminals, but no, this one does not. Oh, and then we can pull these wires out of the suppressor, and I'm effectively just going to join these two together later on. And with one more screw, which will be one of the motor mid-frame screws, which you may as well just fully take out now with its cord clamp, so I know where that goes. That's our motor de-loomed. I'm just going to clean this up now. There's our plastic 1980... Uh-oh. Oh, God. Why aren't you clicking? That's our broken 1980 star switch. Oh, no. Then we can remove this bolt here, which is for the suppressor and also a top bearing bolt like that. I guess actually I'd best take the wire out of here, ready for when we separate everything. And then we can undo these other 2 bolts and our top bearing will come out. Oh, very nice indeed. Nothing wrong with that. It's a bit surface rusty, but could be worse. Pop our screws on there, screw on there. Marvellous. Suppressor clamp doesn't matter. Then it's on to the next round of screws, which then takes out the motor mid-frame. But before we do that, thinking about it, we're going to we're going to undo the wrong part, sadly, which is good but bad. I want this top fan to crack off. This top fan needs to come undone. Come on, you can do it, buddy. Ow. It's also very sharp. We are going to have to consider that because, yeah, this does need to twist off. I think it's just getting a little bit of persuasion because it's a bit rusty. There we go. Using a cloth helps. It's the opposite twist to the fan. So, you know, you can just hold the fan and turn this and it will unlock itself. Right, marvellous. There we go. Because, yeah, if you do these screws first, you still can't take this bit off. And obviously I don't want to risk damaging anything. So, there we go. It never happens like that, though. The fan never comes apart. Oh, there we are. Carbon holders. This motor doesn't look too bad at all, actually. This is usually packed up with fluff and horribleness. Right, now this is the point in which normally you would hold this and then turn this and fight the belt spindle. But no, the belt spindle is good as well. Look, it has all of its serrations still that grip the belt slightly as it goes around. So that's excellent, really. This machine, I think it just got structurally broken rather than actually killed. Oh, get that out in a minute. There we go. There is our armature. Nothing wrong with that. That can just be cleaned. Oh, I do need a little spacer thing out there. Come on. Lots of crud everywhere. Ah, there it goes. Yeah, our little spacer washer. And then this, with that off, you can use a socket, but they aren't that tight, so you can also just turn them with a screwdriver. We shall loosen. Oh, he says they're not tight, with one being very tight. It's tight with dust and grit though, rather than actually being torqued up and impossible to remove. Oh, there we go. Little washer. We can push these bolts out of the fan case, and then our coil lifts off. And that is this pretty much stripped down. I will go one step further after washing it and take the little felt pads out of each side of this bearing and just try and squeeze a bit of grease in there, but I do that after I've washed it so that the felt pad helps keep it just a little bit waterproof. And yeah, this should clean up lovely. The whole machine is cleaning up lovely. Let me come back to you when it's all a bit more nicer. And before too long, well, we're here. I have a whole Hoover Senior, whatever this is, worth of parts, ready to be reassembled. It's come up quite well. Polished the hood. I guess we can't get rid of the scratches and the gouges, and I think it is quite sun faded, but it's certainly a lot nicer. I did give this a quick wash. It was a bit grubby from storage, and everything else is cleaned and tidy. I just need to put it all back together now, which I'm going to do off camera because I'm not the best at filming all of this reassembly stuff, and we've seen it before. And then we can work out what sort of Hoover upright this is and if it runs. And here it is, our lovely, still brand new and shiny hood. So yeah, this isn't that nice new brush roll that the owner of this machine bought. It was wrong. What it is the end cap, ends and bearing, and then I found some really nice brush strips and then, yeah, put the ends that it should have onto it. So we now pop a belt onto here, slot this into place. Yeah, we have ourselves a nice, decent brush roll. Fantastic. Then we take this base plate and it just sits on there like so. This is very strange. From the 80s machines, it screws down just like the Junior U1104, but because we're missing the brass inserts for this machine, we're going to have to drive in some threaded screws, which are going to eat their own thread into this chassis. I found that a lot putting this together. It needs to find its own threads. All of the motor ones had to do it as well. These bits don't do anything. They barely even touch the plate. So I think they're just there because they're there, really. Or it needs a base plate that has the tab, you know, the little wings on the edge. That's probably it, actually. But this one will fit on nicely. With our brush roll in place and screwed down, I have made it a rating sticker because it doesn't have one. So it is a Hoover U4064, and then we rebuilt it in October 2025, and it's the first U4064 that I A, had to refurbish, B, that I've had to stick a sticker onto, and originally it would have been somewhere buried, so we're going to stick it here. Nice. Actually, no, it probably was there originally. It was the U65 there, 6525C that was on the edges. So yeah, we'll pop that there and call that done. If I lean over now and flip the switch, we can see if the brush roll makes a horrible racket or not. Sounds fine. The problem is those bearings are probably quite old in the brush roll, and I haven't greased them. They are as they came. But move these bits out of the way. We're done. We have ourselves a working Hoover. Let's see how well it hoovers. Oh wow! That is very nice indeed. Even the bag inflates quite well. I think that's going to be good enough. Those noises should sort themselves out. As the bearings bed themselves in, it certainly works a lot better than it did before. And this machine is quite rare, I think. Another collector sent me a photo of the whole lineup, and this is the only one of the 3 electricity board special seniors of this style that had the headlight. So that is pretty cool indeed, and we can tick a very rare Hoover senior off the list. It is a shame about this handle bale, but I wouldn't have been able to do anything better than it's had there. So I guess that's how it's going to be, and that's how this Hoover is going to be as well. One thing that I did find a little bit funny, if I just come back to the service manual, because I did have to refer to the service manual a little bit on this. Where are we? Shampoo here. This, I think this is all the notes from the previous owners of the service manual. But if we come here, look, you can see, I mean, it's none of those. I haven't found these, but Hoover would have used the same serial number. These diagrams look quite new, you know. They show the flat handle and that specific hood. If we then come to here, the brush roll and the motor have been the same forever. So this is the original 1940s, 50s, 60s line drawings. Very different style with just the modern part numbers put on to the top to match this machine. And then you come back to the newer style for the tools which this machine would have had. And yeah, that I thought was quite interesting. This is the 1987 service manual. I also went and got the 1988 one and the 1986. And they all have the same as well. So literally all of the senior motors that haven't changed in absolute decades have kept their line drawings, which is quite fun. Yeah, this is all the paperwork that sits inside of this. I've no idea why. Look, there is a hot point instruction leaflet for an interlock kit. Never going to use that, but you know, it was in here. Who knows? There is some sort of counting 800 motor sockets. I mean, I know there's washing machine people that watch this channel. What the heck is all of this? Model 3348 something fault found. No, very interesting stuff. And this is a very interesting Hoover. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope that you have enjoyed. Do you have an electricity board special Hoover of your own? If so, do let me know, especially if you've got one of these nice embossed plugs. And I, and some other poor smashed up piece of junk Hoover, will see you soon. Bye bye.